My name is Bert, and this is the Still Life Podcast. Welcome back, everybody, to the Still Life Podcast. This is episode number 8 and part 2 of kind of memories and reminiscing about my deployment in 2002-2003. Now, when we left off yesterday, I was kind of talking about my transition into the leadership role as the Battalion Communications Sergeant for the 3rd Medical Battalion. I kind of skipped over a few things that I wanted to get into today. And honestly, really what's going to happen is I'm going to jump all over the place because I'm going to remember things as I talk. I'll remember events before, during, and after what I'm talking about. So try to follow along. I'm going to do the same. Odds are I'm going to end up all over the place. So it occurred to me right before I started recording today that I can't just pick up where I left off because there are, some events that occurred while I was, aide, driver, and bodyguard to General Waitman that I wanted to talk about that were cool, unique, and really interesting learning experiences. And the first of which that really sticks out in my mind is doing lunch at the Kuwaiti ambassador's house. I am quite certain that I am on a very short list of non-dignitary types that got to do something that unique and that special. Certainly was very special to me and a learning experience all the same. So as we arrived to the ambassador's home, it was a gated entrance and there were, of course, guards at the gate that let us in. There were several cars already there. We weren't the first ones to arrive. And we were escorted inside. And from there, I was separated from General Waitman and his 2 colonels that were with him. And they were led into the banquet hall of this house had a banquet hall. And I was led into the servants' kitchen. Now, when I say servant's kitchen, it sounds kind of terrible, but in all honesty, the servant's kitchen was very much like a normal kitchen, like the kitchen in my house or your house. It was identical. It was just a regular kitchen. Now, the kitchen that was used for the banquet hall was more of a commercial style, almost like a restaurant style kitchen. So I was not allowed, because I was technically a servant, was not allowed in that kitchen or in the dining hall or dining room proper itself. So I was up there by myself, actually, because I think the rest of the people that were there drove themselves there, or their people waited out in the vehicles. But I was extended the offer to come in and have lunch in the servants' quarters at the servants' kitchen. And so, just for the sake of learning and having a once-in-a-lifetime experience, I opted to go that route, and I am certainly glad that I did. So I get seated at the kitchen table. It's just really just a plain old kitchen table. And I was offered a choice of drinks. I think there was Coke or Pepsi, iced tea or water. And I opted for the iced tea. I'm an iced tea guy. Sweet tea, really. But over there, it's more just plain iced tea, which was totally fine. I wasn't going to complain, but it was definitely better than just plain old water or soda. So I get my tea, and I'll be totally honest, I can't even remember exactly what we had for lunch. That was almost 20 years ago, but I had just a heaping plate of this beautiful white and yellow long grain rice, and then these I guess the best way to describe them is almost like a hush puppy type of a thing, but it was like the consistency of sausage, maybe. I don't know if it was meat or bean or what it was, but it had some greens in it, and I think it was fried, lightly fried, and it was just fantastic. I think every meal out in Kuwait itself had those fried balls. Every meal I remember eating in the city had those as part of the meal, and they were just delicious. I've never seen anything like them in the States, but I would love to find them out here because they were just delicious. And then I want to say, I believe there was a little side of hummus and some pita bread or naan, I guess, that came with the meal. And I believe the meat, if I remember correctly, was like some type of, I want to say like a braised or roasted lamb. It was real thinly sliced, and it was just magnificent. Absolutely incredible meal. I will say in my time over there, every time I got an opportunity to have a meal out in the city, I jumped at the chance. Because again, it was all about learning, and I am a foodie. I am a food explorer. I love trying new things, and the cuisine is second to none. Still to this day, Middle Eastern fare is my absolute favorite, hands down. And since we're talking about food, we'll just stay on this topic. While that was, in fact, a special meal, mostly because of where I had it, it was not the most special meal that I had on my deployment. The most special meal that I had was shortly before we left theater to come back to the States. We had done some work with the Kuwaiti Air Force, and one of the captains and his brother owned stables in Kuwait City. And he was having a big shindig with, friends and family, and invited a handful of us that he had worked with to come to this party before we left to go back home. And so, of course, an opportunity to go to a local party, I mean, we couldn't pass that up. I think 4 or 5 of us went, and it was very, very special. When we got to the stables, they were just beautiful. We got to check out the horses and stuff like that. And everybody was in the traditional garb, the robes and everything. And, of course, we were just in, like jeans and T-shirts or polos, whatever, we had on us for civilian clothes. So it would have been cool to dress up in traditional garb. We didn't get the opportunity. Not the most important part, for sure, but it would have been cool. But the most important part really was the meal itself. To this day, I will never forget it, and I can still picture it in my head. It was set up buffet style, which was kind of the way that most meals we had in the city were set up. They were all kind of buffet style, where you go up and you get, your sides, your appetizers, whatever, and then there's the main course. And I guess really the style kind of reminds me, if you've ever been to a Brazilian steakhouse, like doing the salad bar, sides and stuff. It's real similar in nature to the way that that's set up. But yeah, so of course there was the hummus and naan. There was those little fried balls, whatever they were. And then, some other, I can't remember what else we had to kind of accompany the main course. But the main course was very, very special. It was goat neck. Let me say that again. Goat neck. Unlike anything I have ever seen before, or probably will see again in my lifetime, although I wouldn't be opposed to it. It was by far one of the most unique presentations I've ever seen. So it was on this beautiful bed of that long grain white and yellow rice. It was the goat head and neck, completely cooked, no skin, no hair, no nothing, sitting on this bed of rice. Really creepy at first glance if it's not something you're accustomed to. But everybody was digging in and cutting off slices of that goat neck. It was like, well, I'm here. This may be the only time I ever get to do this. Let's just jump in. So I did. I grabbed the fork and sliced me off a few pieces, went and sat down, and I tried it. And it was incredible. It was tender. It was juicy. It was like almost like melt in your mouth. Juicy, just so much flavor, and it was just beautifully prepared. I mean, I can still, my mouth is watering as I think about it. It was so good. I can still almost taste it, and it was just such a beautiful, beautiful piece of meat. Again, unlike anything I have ever had, or probably will ever have again. But if you're out there and you're making some goat neck, please send me an invite. I would love to have it again. So yeah, by far the most special meal and most memorable meal I have ever had. Now, in addition to the food, there was also this drink. It was like a fruit juice. I don't know what was in it. I couldn't tell you. I don't really like most fruit outside of citrus, so I tend not to drink a lot of fruit juices. But, of course, they offered it, and I had to try it. So I did. And it was, I believe it was like a spontaneously fermented kind of almost like a juice cocktail kind of thing. Now, Kuwait is a dry country. They don't serve alcohol, but they have this juice. Couldn't tell you if there was actually alcohol in it or if there was, how much there was, but I had a couple glasses of it and pretty sure I got a buzz. So, again, don't know. I remember it was pretty decent for being concocted of fruit. So yeah, if you're ever in a foreign culture and have the opportunity and the ability to eat local food, oh, please just jump in. 9 times out of 10, you probably won't regret it. And hopefully you'll bring something back with you. That's the one thing I regret, is not asking how they prepared these things or what these things were made of so I could make them here, because they were so amazing. I'm sure in this day and age I can probably look on Google and find something close. In fact, I will probably do that as soon as I'm done recording this podcast today. So with that, I will end part 2 of my deployment experience. As always, thank you all for joining me today on the Still Life podcast. I appreciate y'all taking some time out of your day to join me on my journey. And as always, for comments, questions, topic ideas, or suggestions, or if you'd like to become a sponsor of the Still Life podcast, you can reach us at thestilllifepodcast@gmail.com. That's thestilllifepodcast@gmail.com. Thanks again for joining us. We'll talk again soon.